Right, welcome ladies and gents to my Season 2, Episode 5 review, I believe, of Raised by Wolves. Now, this show, I thought it would start actually with this here, with a poster, because there's a few things I want to discuss. Now, obviously, I pointed out in the last episode review that what Father was going to build was, of course, the android that's actually been hiding in plain sight. You can see it's on the poster. It is on the poster, just between Father and supposedly the Tree of Life. It's right there, hiding in plain sight. It's been there all along, and definitely, you know, what we saw in today's episode confirms that to me, 100%. But then I thought what was really interesting was that it says "sacrifice for survival" on the poster. Now, you know, I've really enjoyed this show. I think season 1 definitely had, you know, some faltering here and there, just went balls to the wall. It's definitely going balls to the wall again, but I feel like it's setting a lot of stuff up that's actually being paid off, you know, from season 1 to season 2. So, full spoilers. We'll go full spoilers today, ladies and gents, as we always do with this show. You know, just because you cannot talk about the show without spoilers. Without spoilers, beautifully shot, high concept, great. Like, that's about it, really. Gory as heck, this episode. There you go, non-spoilers. So let's talk full spoilers. There's a lot going on in this episode. A lot. So Father meets the android that he's created. Doesn't communicate with him. Really odd. It's wearing like a veil, you know, across its face. Interestingly enough, has a very similar sort of metal helmet headdress type of deal that both the androids came in wearing. You know, to arrive to Kepler 22b, which I thought was really quite surprising, because these are supposed to be ancient androids. How ancient are they supposed to be? Not Mother and Father, but this android that they found on the planet. If it's essentially, you know, a model of android that we've had on Earth, it's just very, 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 very interesting. Now, that happens. Father tries to communicate with it by telling it a joke. It, you know, sort of makes a sound. It's sort of communicating in sounds, which I think is, again, quite interesting. I'm sure it will speak further down the line. I don't see why it wouldn't speak. But I just found that to be a very interesting introduction. Nice. Good introduction. There seems to be a very big conflict between Mother and Father being set up here, which I think will probably culminate in actually the android. The new android that Father had created. All that will come to a head, their conflict between Mother and Father. Now, what I'm talking about conflict-wise is Mother calls for Father. Father comes out the, you know, his little sort of utility room. He keeps looking back to the room. Mother is obviously suspicious and goes, you know, do you need to be reprogrammed? What's going on? What's going on? And he goes, no, but I do fear that we're becoming too human, which I thought was fantastic, because this seems to be, you know, the show that we're watching is that these androids are viewing humanity through, you know, a sort of a programmed perspective, but also delivering their own sort of use of humanity and sort of moralistic endeavours. I really do appreciate that. I think it's such a good show. So all of that happens. Father gets sent off to go and get Molly or Holly, one of the Mithraic kids that goes off with Marcus. Marcus is tending to his flock of Mithraic, the religious zealots, and there's a setup of a conflict with the woman that had the android kid that she killed, in inverted commas. She doesn't kill it because it comes back and actually slaughters everyone, but not before Marcus finds another one of those sort of hexagonal boxes, you know, which they found in the desert on the other side. And he gets lowered into it this time and goes into the earth, into the crust. And it gets caught on a giant serpent again. So laying the foundation for the giant serpents. And then there's an adjacent tunnel. And it's basically, it's set up as this big Mithraic journey that someone needs to go on to prove themselves. Now, I found this to be really interesting because when he goes through to the tunnel, there's loads of bones of humans and things, and it almost looks like the serpent did do it, but also not. So he goes through, basically a wall of bones, and then he finds an alien, Now, the alien looks semi-reminiscent to what had been in that weird flashback sequence at the end of Season 1. Semi-reminiscent. Not hugely, but semi-reminiscent. And it wakes up. The alien wakes up. And for some weird reason, one of the Mithraic relics, which is around Marcus's neck, begins to react. Right? It reacts. And it melts away into a powder that this alien then inhales. And this alien then regresses, devolves into one of those alien creatures that we had seen in Season 1. Very strange. I don't know what that is saying. I have no idea. Really, really far out. Really far out stuff. Now, to me, it's all guesswork. But the devolution of these humanoids that were on this planet is very clearly a part of this sort of alien signals plan. Because that's what it's being led up to be now. It's an alien signal. This Mithraic prophecy is not... Obviously, it's not God. It's, it's a weird little signal thing going on. But it was just... that was a great scene. Really, really, really good. Fantastically shot. And then we start to deal with... again, it's a heavy religious episode, this one. We then start to deal with the fact that Paul is basically becoming a snake. It's out and out said he's becoming a snake. He's cocooned and he's becoming a snake. And we then get his fake mother basically praying to Soul, but doesn't pray to Soul. Literally says, "Look, I don't know what you are. Some alien signal talking to me. I don't know. I don't care. But if you save him, I'll do anything you want." And she starts seeing leeches. She wakes up and starts seeing leeches. She thinks she's having a nervous breakdown, so she asks a little help, an orb, a little AI orb thing that's helping her do all of this stuff. And he says, "Oh, that sounds like you're describing leech number 6 from blah blah blah. It's thought to have, healing properties." And she's like, "Right, goddamn, where is it?" Now, interestingly enough, it's actually on one of those sea humanoid creatures. So they lure one out, knock it out, go and get a bunch of leeches, and then it sort of escapes. They get the leeches, and it does. It saves Paul. And then it's set up at the end that this signal, can now penetrate the tropical zone. It can. Because it talks to her again, and she says, "I'll do whatever you want, just keep him safe." Which is obviously setting up something moving forwards. I think it'll probably be to do with the actual serpent. I would imagine. I think that's going to be quite interesting. And then it was a very motherless episode. This one is very father-centric, which I really did appreciate. Father catches Holly. Marcus is going to be returning to the atheists, and then they're probably going to go from there, sentence him or whatever. But then the stuff we did get with Mother was very interesting. So she goes and essentially confronts the atheist soldier that was working directly for the trust, and she's like, who, "You never did tell me who your eyes were from." And he goes, "Oh, it's from my brother Christopher." "Yeah, no, it was from Clive." And she's like, "Which one? Who is it?" And basically says, "Yeah, you've been reprogrammed." And he goes, "I'm not a fucking android." And she goes, "Humans can be reprogrammed too through conditioning. Maybe you weren't up to scratch, and then the trust reprogrammed you." And then actually just turned around and said, "Yeah, they're your eyes," and then just kind of like walked off. I was like, "God damn, psycho." But that's about it, really. A lot happened, but not a lot happened. Marcus's flock has completely been eradicated, completely destroyed. No more of them. They're all dead. They're gone. And that was brutal. So it was that child android that just cut everyone up, killed everyone, and then found her mother, in inverted commas, mother, and then said, "Yeah, now you're going to feel like, now you're going to know what it feels like to be me," and literally hacks her face apart. It's really brutal. Really, really, really brutal. But such a great episode nonetheless. What did you guys think if you've seen it? Let me know down below. I cannot wait to keep watching this stuff unfold. It's fascinating stuff. There was a relic which Marcus got from this alien, which I would imagine has something to do with something. There seems to be some form of special properties with it. Why would the alien have it otherwise? Is the alien there searching for soul as well? It's this whole mystery begins to unravel itself, hopefully now. But it's such a great show. I really do enjoy this show. It's such out there sci-fi to see on a weekly basis. Really, really good stuff. I can't wait to see finally this android do something, this new android. Because we know it can fly, we know it can sort of appear golden. And I think that this will really test Mother. I think this android will prove to be a test to Mother's sort of control over the atheists, as well as Cambium. And more importantly, Father. That's the real thing. Because Mother has a certain control over Father. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops. All actors just do such a stellar job. Bang up job. The effects were great. It's just a great show. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you have seen it, let me know. If you're new here, guys, please do hit that subscribe button. For returning subscribers, make sure the bell notification is turned on to all, because otherwise YouTube just won't notify you. And if you don't get notifications, follow me over on Twitter, because I share videos there at Mr. H Reviews and suggest some topics. Thanks so much, ladies and gents. Take care.